Alrighty, so for day 5, I wanted to go through some of my tips and tricks to do actually during labor and delivery. So again, Spinning Babies is our best resource for a huge collection of thoughts and ideas around this. But I'm going to just share some brief go-tos that I found valuable with my last labor, and I plan on using again. And it's always great to develop some confidence around them in advance of the day. So it's a great thing to practice, and it helps balance your pelvis anyways during pregnancy. Okay, so first thing is the Fantastic Four. So these are the Spinning Babies go-to moves. You develop your confidence around them during pregnancy, and then they can also be utilized during labor. The first one is when you use the rebozo. So that's where you're just coming onto all fours. You have a partner who takes a big strap of fabric around your belly, holds onto either end, and then just gives it a jiggle. So it can feel it feels very nice for the mom. You can do it for as long as feels comfortable for you and your partner. And it's meant to just kind of jiggle, move, create space, allow the baby the freedom to move around a little bit. And it's a nice add. Some of the ways you can use this during the actual labor is as a circuit that you just repeat. You can do this for 5 minutes and then you move on to the next one. So rebozo is our number 1. Number 2 is our forward leaning inversion. So for that you need some height. I just use a chair. There are some reasons why you wouldn't invert, like if you have glaucoma, or if you get really dizzy, if you've had a stroke, like those kind of things, you wouldn't be going upside down, but generally this is safe for all pregnant bodies. So you're just climbing up onto a chair, you gently lean forward onto your fingertips, then coming all the way down and onto your elbows. You have your pelvis in neutral, so not sticking your butt out, not sticking your butt out or tucking your tail in, just kind of neutral, and then you hold for 30 seconds. So usually that's about 3 breaths. So we just gently come out, you come up onto your hands, gently lower your legs down. Take a moment, pause, and then we're just letting our baby settle back into our pelvis. So the forward leaning inversion is a great one to do a reset during labor. So if things aren't quite going as planned, if things are stalling, it takes your baby up and out of your pelvis, gives them the opportunity to move around, and then settle back down. So it also feels great during pregnancy, I find, just for positioning again. It can go from feeling like your baby's in like a bit of an awkward position to just being really nice and settled. So we have our rebozo option, our forward leaning inversion. The next one, you need a firm surface. So some people use a couch. If you're in a hospital, you can be using your hospital bed. And I'm just gonna grab my table. Come up onto your side, come right to the edge of the table. You're gently relaxing. You can have a pillow under your head, and then you have your bottom leg straight, your top leg straight, and then you can have a partner who keeps your pelvis from moving forward or back, and then you just take your top leg forward and let it hang. Okay, so my pelvis is moving a little bit. Okay, so from there, you're just letting it hang and relax, trying to keep your pelvis stacked. And what's happening is you're opening up your sacrum and the back part of your body. So you would just take a few breaths. And again, this is a great circuit to do. Like if you're not sure what else you could could be doing, this stuff can only help. 5 minutes rebozo, 5 minutes, 30 seconds of forward leaning inversion. Then come up here, do this as long as it feels good. Maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Gentle breathing, lots of relaxing, telling your nervous system that you're safe. Keeping well hydrated, keeping your mouth and throat relaxed. And then gently coming out, and then we would switch to the other side. So just gently coming to seated. Switching to our other side. Keep our bottom leg straight, our pelvis stacked, and then just letting that top leg rest off the side of the table, opening up the back of the pelvis and holding for a few breaths. Okay, so again, you could be using a partner to stack your hips. Doing this as long as it feels comfortable. Doing this in labor as part of a circuit. And then gently coming back to seated. So we've done our rebozo, forward leaning inversion, sideline release. And the last one, I'm just gonna move the table here. It's called sacral balancing. So this is where we take one hand at the front, one hand at the back. You can do this for yourself, or you can have a partner do this for you. And what you're doing is just using a feather weight amount of pressure. You gently push kind of forward, back, side to side, rotate, and just see where is there freedom of movement, restriction, where can I gently hold this and encourage a bit of a different something that feels good, a different way of positioning the pelvis. You just kind of guide it along. So this can feel kind of like a silly technique to do. I know that during my labor, my sister was doing this for me, and I felt something shift in my pelvis, and then the baby did a large movement that then encouraged the labor to progress. So it can be a simple technique, but have a really large impact. So gently holding, and again, you can do this kind of 3 to 5 minutes. Your body's wisdom can share how to move, maybe swaying side to side, maybe you drop a hip, lift a hip, and you just let your baby and your body guide you. And then gently relaxing out of it. So rebozo, forward leaning inversion, sideline release, and our sacral balancing. So let's talk about specific things we can do at different phases of labor. So at the beginning of the labor, we're having our baby engage into the top of our pelvis. So the best go-to move I've seen for that is where you gently lift your pelvis up, tuck your sacrum under, and then you're holding that there for 10 cycles of contractions. So you could have your partner doing this for you, standing behind you, lifting your belly, and you're just relaxing your body as much as you can, focusing on your breathing. If you're doing this during your contractions, it feels like work, it's labor, laborious. So knowing that you could lean against a wall, you can lean against your partner, giving yourself the support you need to get through those 10 cycles. The power of your uterus plus the knowledge of how to open the top of our pelvis is what's working together during that first phase of labor. Another way to do this is on a firm surface. So I'm going to bring my table back into the table here. Okay, so I've seen this best done with a chair. Or at least that's the way I appreciated it. So once you're lying down, you want to come right to the edge of the table. And what you're doing is dropping your feet gently onto the chair, feet together, knees apart, and just gently opening up that top of the pelvis and allowing your baby to enter in. So holding for a few breaths. This is again something you could add to your Fantastic Four circuit. So where you're doing rebozo, forward leaning inversion, sideline release, pelvic balancing. You know you're in the first stage of labor. So now you're doing 10 contractions, belly lift, tuck your pelvis under, and then this one, feet on a chair. To me, it just feels really nice. And again, we're relaxing our face, relaxing our throat, telling our nervous system we're safe. And then, if you wanted to make it a little bit more extreme, I wouldn't suggest doing this unless you had been practicing it in advance of labor, or you feel very confident that you're not going to strain your lower back. So to start, you tuck your pelvis strongly under. So this is stick your butt out. You want to tuck your pelvis strongly under, and you're just going to gently let one leg drop, then the other leg drop completely off the pelvis or off the chair. So this is a more extreme stretch. You would do it carefully and cautiously, and then just relaxing into it. So I'm almost touching the floor. So I'm going to come onto the table just a little bit more, and then letting the legs drop. So again, this is a way to open up that top of the pelvis. And it's a way we can stay lying down, relax our body during those more early phases of labor. Okay, to come out, make sure your pelvis is tucking under. You can bring your knees to your chest, roll side to side during that little break in between contractions, and then coming up to seated. Okay, so I'm going to move this table again. Okay, so let's say labor is progressing. Maybe you've taken a rest. Maybe you're still doing your Fantastic Four circuit. But if we know the baby's in the middle of your pelvis, our go-to move is going to be our lunge. So for this, you need some support for your back knee. You don't want to be lunging forward. You want to be lunging out to the side. If you are feeling really fatigued out and like you could use some support, you could use a chair so that you're not actually having to hold yourself up. So you just take your leg over the chair and then you're gently lunging and just relaxing into it. Okay, you would do this for 3 contractions. Again, this is hard work, so asking your support crew for the support that you need, relaxing your body, using our breath to tell our nervous system we're safe. And doing at least 3 breaths before we gently come out. And then we would do the other side. So this whole program, Spinning Babies, was created with Gail, the midwife, and she partnered with a chiropractor to have that knowledge of how we can gently manipulate our joints and muscle during the different phases of labor. So that's where this has come from. So again, you could use the chair on the other side, or you could just hold, depending on how you're feeling. And then when we're ready, gently coming out, and you would go back into your circuit or whatever was feeling right for you at the time. Okay, so then our last phase, so when baby's coming out the bottom of the pelvis, we want to be opening up our sit bones. So what that usually looks like, and many women do this kind of instinctually, is usually a squat with our knees wide. So you could hold on to something up high, like some people have a rope or a cloth that they're holding on to. It could look like more like leaning, so where you're on your knees and with your feet, and then gently squatting in that kind of way. with lots of nice support. If you have an epidural or are more comfortable lying down, a good trick for that one is, so you lie right down. See if I can draw this, knees together, but feet apart. So you find something really nice and big to go between your feet. And that way you're getting that opening of your sit bones, but even in a lying position. Okay, so our go-to moves, we have our Fantastic Four, but for the separate stages of labor, the go-to move, beginning of labor, we're belly lifting, tucking our tail under. Middle phase of labor, we're lunging it out to the side. And then the last phase of labor, we're getting into our nice big squat. Throughout it all, relaxing our mouth, our throat, our nervous system, using our breath to communicate with our body that we're safe. And I really just hope women can feel comfortable and confident in when and how, or different options of ways to move your body throughout the labor process. I found that it wasn't something that was talked about a lot. There was a lot of talk around dilation, but there wasn't a lot of talk around how to move your body and options and ways to support your body through the process. So I wanted to add this clip as something to share, something to think about. If you try any of this stuff for yourself, I'd love to hear how it goes. Other than that, good luck on the big day, and can't wait to hear how it goes. All right, I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you soon.